Hello there, this is AnYPony, and oh my god, they are all naked! But then again, nakedness is apparently the default in Equestria. Whenever a pony wears clothes, it has a particular meaning behind it. It is done for a reason. Most ponies are dressed in a work-related manner. For example, the working ponies who have a helmet and a tool belt, which are necessary for their handiwork, or the cakes who wear their baking clothes, and of course the guard who wear their armor for protection. We have business ponies who wear their suits in their function as a business pony, like Filthy Rich or the sofa clerk, and once in a while we even get a character who wears just one or two items in a subtle way just to fancy up a bit. For example, Applebloom's ribbon. But then again, there seem to be also ponies who wear clothes for status. Pretty much all the ponies in Canterlot do this, and especially the celebrities coming out of Canterlot usually all are more dressed than the average pony in Ponyville. And there are also those clothes whose only purpose is to represent status, like the collar of the mayor or the crowns of the princesses. And this also kind of goes along the lines with Rarity's liking for fashion, since she pretty much made clear that she looks up to the high society, that she loves this glamour and all this status, and so her compassion for fashion is understandable, because creating dresses means creating status symbols and therefore getting closer to the high society. But there's also this one aspect that is really curious about fashion in Equestria. Every now and then you can see a few clothes that are more or often enough less subtle references to riding gear. And this kind of keeps me wondering. We're looking at a society which consists mainly out of sentient equians, and the only creatures we have seen so far that are capable of actually riding a pony have been baby dragons and maybe diamond dogs. But it doesn't look like that diamond dogs ride ponies on a regular basis, and there don't seem to be so many baby dragons around in Pony Society either. So I have the question, how did ponies ever come up with, for example, the concept of a saddle? And why did they integrate it into their line of fashion? The only explanation that is kind of satisfying I came across so far, which, by the way, also explains many of the other aspects that can be observed in Equestria, which kind of makes you wonder, why would an equine species ever come up with stuff like this, is the explanation that is given in the fiction Anthropology. And without spoiling too much, the setup of Anthropology is that Lyra is trying to uncover a mystery about the fact that humans used to be part of Equestria, and that a lot of those objects in Equestria that don't really seem to be invented by a species with hooves have actually been invented by humans. Since we are already talking about humans, let's come back to our society and look what we use clothes for, because we actually use clothes in a rather similar way. We also have our special clothes for work. Clothes also work as aspects to express yourself as well as show off your status when you wear a fancy brand or anything. When you boil it down, the main difference is basically simply the social default. In equine society, running around naked is the default, and if you want to wear something, that's fine, and in our case, wearing clothes is the default, and if you don't want to wear anything, you have to either do it in special locations in which it is allowed and not perceived as offensive being naked, or you get into a mental institution. But in all fairness, I have to say there is a reason why we humans developed this understanding that wearing clothes is the default. Because over the last few thousand years we lost our own fur, and now we are pretty much naked, and if we are not living in a really warm climate, we would probably freeze to death. So we have to wear clothes when it's getting cold outside. But this said, nowadays with central heating and stuff, it actually is not necessary to wear clothes all the time, even if it gets cold outside, because inside it is still warm. But a social standard that has been growing for hundreds of years. And It is integrated in our modern civilized society. This is something we cannot change from one moment to another. But nevertheless, this is an aspect that gets addressed in the fiction Xenophilia I already made a review about, so check out the review first before you check out the fiction, because it is not everybody's cup of tea, let me put it like this. But as I said in my review, there are certain very interesting and thought-provoking aspects about world building in Equestria, but also about comparing the equestrian society to the human society. Our naked taboo is one of the aspects they talk about. And it got me thinking as well, why there is this taboo against nakedness, why you have to wear clothes all the time, even though we don't need it anymore all the time to protect ourselves from the cold. And if we as a society would develop a more natural feeling for the nakedness of people, which I believe we are already doing, it would also become less an issue. We would all develop a far more reasonable and casual feeling for our bodies and for the bodies of other people. Because right now, seeing somebody you consider attractive naked automatically has a very arousing effect on you, because you are not used to see people naked and it has something kinky, something special about it. But if you would stop thinking of nakedness as immoral and rather go back to the original understanding that nudity is actually the default, we probably would be all a lot relaxeder most of the time. I guess I'll leave you to think about this for a while. This is AnYPony saying see you soon.